Charles Reich said it in The Greening of America. For most of us, life is confined to time off. But our culture has been reduced to the grossly commercial. Our life activities have become plastic, vicarious, and false to our genuine needs. We seem to live without any real feeling for our own limited presence. Author-philosopher Alan Watts.
The present is the real. The past trails away from it, like echoes, like the wake of a ship, like the tail of a comet. And so we come to the astonishing realization that the past does not cause the present, but the other way around. We're living in an eternal now.
1, 2, 3.
There may be no loss harder to take in our society than loss of self. These people are trying to rediscover themselves through yoga. It's part of the new Asian invasion that promises spirituality, inner consciousness, and as a bonus, better buttocks.
10, 11, and 12.
The invasion began in the 60s, when the Beatles went to India for meditation with the Maharishi. The young then turned on to everything that seemed to connect them to that magical mystery tour. Even surfing at Malibu became taichi, Chinese meditation in motion on water. But for the really dedicated, it takes 10 years to come up to form. Tai Chi master Al Wang.
Tai Chi is a discipline for me to empty myself to the sound, to my own body, to my own energy.
The idea of connecting with some universal energy flow can be irresistible when there is an almost universal feeling of powerlessness, a sense that we live in a society that no one created and no one wants. Probably the most influential guru in selling Eastern intuition to the West, hero of the young, at home on his ferry boat in San Francisco Bay, author and philosopher Alan Watts.
Ever since I was a little boy, I've always been fascinated by the fact that anything exists at all. I suppose that's what makes a philosopher. For as Aristotle said, all philosophy begins with wonder. I mean, even if there were only a tiny speck of dust in the whole universe, it would be incredible, because it takes energy for something to be. And of course, it would be much less trouble not to take energy, but there it is. And behind that has always been for me the puzzle of who I am. Because you see, yourself is the one thing you can't get at. It's just like I can't touch the tip of this finger with the tip of this finger. And if I try to catch my thumb like this, I can't. I never know who I am. So obviously, I am not who I think I am.
Pick up the energy. Let the body just rock up. Get out of this bit. Pick up the center.
These theater students at York University work on traditional Tai Chi forms, practice their meditation and motion to bring looseness to their dance movements, to get away from the Western preoccupation with the intellectual and get back to feeling.
Now, curve, 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 gather the energy in, and let the body revolve around, push energy out, gather in, wrap in, wrap in, wrap in, and punch through, gather, punch right into it. And then enclose it, gather back, pull towards your base. Dig in, breathe out, and push the energy out. And then let it spread all around you. And embrace energy in, gather
Tai Chi is like a focal point,
in,
and it's a necessity for everyone. It's kind of like an ever-enlarging bag made out of elastic. All our daily experiences we can put into it and use Tai Chi as kind of like connecting rods for our day-to-day experiences.
And you can begin from here.
It's a form of relaxation. It's a way of moving. It's something that loosens up a lot of tension that I find in everyday life.
Down, center, through your spine, dig in, gather, lift.
It's a very soft form of movement. There's nothing hard. One body movement flows into the other, and it's a sense of continuance. You keep on doing it. It flows. Something like that.
It makes you feel whole. It makes you feel a part of people. It's never stopping. That's the one thing. It's continuous. It goes out to everyone once you've got it.
Hit it. Each time when you hit, you find it, okay? You're not trying to fight each other, okay? Then it's a different thing. You're looking for the mutual center. And makes two of you become more aware of your energy connecting. And you're twice as big immediately.
Definitely anybody can get this feeling of energy. And it's an energy that doesn't stop within yourself. It's to be shared with people. And you can do it in any form you want, as long as you keep in mind you don't have to try to do it. Just relax into it, and it comes natural. And then you've got it.
Okay? Now you extend up and down.
The feeling is release. They call it wu-wei. You don't interfere with what's happening. You don't force it. You give. If the movement is natural, you empty out. The philosophy is as old as Chinese civilization itself. It was at the center of the world 2,000 years before the birth of Christ. Tai Chi master Al Wang.
The universal energy flow is always there, continuous, never ending. We too, we are part of this never-ending energy. Sometimes we take too much time out of what we're doing to say, now we have to connect. Forgetting that at this moment now, we are all flowing together in spite of ourselves. Instead of stopping the flow, go with it is the secret of Tai Chi.
The basic Tai Chi form is making the circle, never stopping, losing your sense of separateness, rising above your ego. With that out of the way, the stream of experience can just flow, unobstructed. That's Tao. The way of nature, the basis of meditation. Alan Watts.
Funny thing is, the word I, capital I, is also E-Y-E, to I. And when your eyes are working well, they're not aware of themselves. If you've got some eye disease, you see spots and things in front of your eyes. That's because your eyes are aware of themselves. But good eyes aren't aware of themselves at all. So in the same way, good capital I isn't aware of itself as something separate from what we're experiencing. Because if this ego, this image of yourself, plus this stupid tension that goes on all the time, isn't really you, then we see that the concept of ego is purely an abstraction or a social convention like a line of longitude or an inch. It doesn't have any real existence. So then, what am I? What is myself?
Some of the coming generation have already rejected the traditional answers in favor of Asian religions, which through doctrines of reincarnation have elevated all living things to include them as possible future human souls in some other lifetime. Writer Colin Wilson says that by the year 2000, the materialism of our own society will be seen as one of the most preposterous manifestations of the human spirit. These Japanese temple gardens, dating back to the 12th century, may well represent the future of the past. Poet Allen Ginsberg, who first popularized the Om in North America, says, "We're in science fiction now. All the revolutions and the old methods for changing consciousness are bankrupt. We're back to magic, to psychic life. Don't you know that power is an hallucination? The warfare's psychic now. Whoever controls the language, the images, controls the race." Yoga leader Marie Paulin turns her group on with the Om, the cosmic sound. Chanting it, students are supposed to forget where they are and who they are. Let the Om ultimately take them into a state of nirvana. In yoga, all states of nature and consciousness depend on the Om. It's all-powerful, even if it is overworked.
Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last deep inhalation and begin. I became interested in yoga several years ago because I was really in a very bad shape emotionally, and I was getting pretty close to a nervous wreck. I was totally hooked on sleeping pills because I was a chronic insomniac. And one day I decided that that was enough. I didn't want to be a slave anymore to the pills. I didn't want to submit to all this nonsense. So I got really interested in yoga, and the first thing was to learn how to unwind, to learn how to relax. And that to me was completely new, a real discovery. The second step was to throw the prescriptions, not to take any pill, to be totally independent. That was quite a big victory indeed. Yoga is a discipline. It's a discipline of body and mind. You learn how to slow down the breathing. You learn how to get attuned to the blood circulation. You even learn how to slow down the beats of the heart.
I just love every minute of it. It helps you to keep yourself together in a very crazy, insane kind of world, and it helps you to keep your body fit and your mind clear and healthy.
Something of a spiritual adventure. It's well, the idea is union. I think that's what you're trying to get back to.
I really think if you start yoga and you keep it up every single day, you feel just fantastic your whole life through, and you just zing through life. You're not just blah all your life. Many people go through life and never lived at all.
Consciously direct this life force to every part of your body. Feel how it is flowing now, soothing, healing, regenerating and rejuvenating every cell. Inhale the life force.
The trip's a spiritual one.
Prana.
It's ageless. The mind floats free. And drugs don't go. They interfere too much. The future?
In the future, I firmly believe that yoga will be taught in schools as part of a curriculum. To learn not only how to recharge, but how to live fully as a human being in the real meaning of the word. And we learn especially how to put everything together, body, mind, and spirit. This is the essence of yoga. Last inhalation, close the right nostril, start exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
If you watch
Inhale,
how you breathe,
1, 2,
Do you breathe or does it breathe you? Is breathing something you do? Yes, you can feel it that way. You can take in a breath. But on the other hand, it could be seen as something that just happens to you. When you watch your breathing, doing and happening are really the same. It's kind of scary, isn't it? Because when you discover that you aren't running this universe, you're not even running your own breathing. And you say, who's in charge around here? Well, nobody's in charge. There never was anybody in charge. There's just this happening. And it's like they say in the Upanishads, those ancient texts of Hinduism. They say, Tattvamasi, you're it. Ha! You're everything that's going on. In other words, you are a particular place at which the whole universe is focused. And every one of us is an aperture through which this entire cosmos is watching itself. And of course there are lots of these apertures because the system arranges itself so as not to be narrow-minded and prejudiced. So it looks at itself from ever so many points of view. And each one of us, therefore, is really, as we feel ourselves to be, the center of the universe. And that would be true whether we were living on the planet Earth or a planet in some other galaxy altogether.
Deep inhalation, up, back into the shoulder stand. Both hands on the floor, palms flat. Now control each vertebra as you are gradually and slowly coming down. In full awareness of what you are doing, you are strengthening and stretching not only the vertebrae, but each one of the discs. Try not to drop the hips. Use maximum control. Follow your
Harvard
legs
researchers
as
have
they
now
are
confirmed
gradually
what has
coming
long been
down.
suspected, that
Try to
actual
control
physiological
the last
changes may
10
occur in
inches.
meditation.
This is when you really
Yoga may even be
control the
helpful in dealing
willpower.
with the problems of alcoholism and drug addiction. Some advocates even make the radical claim that yoga is the perfectly safe cure for all mental
Once
and
you
physical
feel
illness.
that down, just surrender. In our high consumption society, we use 10 times as much physical energy per capita as the rest of the world. And it's now getting to be an affliction in the affluent East as well as the West. Can we use the richness that our technology has given us to get out from under, to come up to a more highly developed sense of self? Can we get out of our individual ego capsules? Can we learn to move in the classic open circle of universal energy flow that Tai Chi says connects all of us with the cosmos?
It seems to me I'm everything I experience. I'm all that I hear, all that I see, all that I know, all that I feel. That's the real me. And when you think that out, you discover that it includes the whole universe. This is the most amazing discovery. Because you discover, you see, that you, not being your opinion of yourself, not being the person that everybody has told you you are really the eternal source of all things. But you could say, how's that so? Because we know that everybody dies. And one day I won't be. Well, of course. You can't know what it is to be alive unless you've once been dead. Because everything that exists is vibration. It goes on and it goes off, on and off, on and off. And so the on part is what we call birth, and the off part is what we call death. And you can't have one without the other, just as you can't have a front without a back, light without darkness or solid without space. And so, you are it.
The most enforced taboo of all is the taboo against knowing who or what you are.